The following is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
Here's to hugging corners, not cutting them. To grinding away, not grinding to a halt. Here's to those who stay true to the old saying, if you want something done right, you do it yourself. From Tallboy Storage to the latest line of extreme grip hand tools, Craftsman is there when it matters.
Time is running out and things are getting down to the wire for the World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Championship Series as we host their 9th race tonight of 12 on this championship. Randy Cheneth, Cam Walsh, and Hugo Louis bringing you all the action from the bull ring at Limaland as the winged World of Outlaws sprint cars get ready to do battle for a fantastic night of racing. Cam, we have to talk about the points though, and as tight as things are getting in the late model championship with 3 or 4 drivers still in the hunt, right now it's only really a driver and a half, I would argue, that has a chance in this championship. Tim Ryan is a huge favorite, 60 points ahead of Alex Bergeron right now, with James Edens only, 23 points back. I don't think there's any way James Edens can win this championship. Bergeron basically needs to win out, I think, to have any hope.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, it's pretty obvious that Tim Ryan not only has been quick in all of the different types of tracks we can go to, but he has been the fortunate one when incidents have been abound, and I gotta say, it is going to look to be more interesting here at Limaland Motorsports Park. Qualifying is a complete 11.0099 for Bergeron, 11.107 for Tim Ryan, so the speeds are the same between the two front runners. We'll have to see how they manage it when you get a bit more cars on the track.
We know that here at Limaland things can get crazy. We've seen some special events happen here in recent weeks as things are getting ready to kick off here for the night. Having a quick peek at the weather, and as you can see, a little on the toasty side, which means that this track should dry out relatively quickly. It's just coming on the tail end of a build release. Of course, we've had some changes made to the way the dirt and the cars work, and it will be interesting to see how this affects them for the evening. But regardless, we have heat race number 1 getting ready to grid up. So let's take a look at the 7 cars that'll be doing battle in this one. The 211 of Dan Smolders, quick time on the night. He will start on that front row with Anthony Lepresto on the outside. Heat race number 1, David Heileman and Chase Cabre will make up row number 2. Austin Tillman and Matt McKinney on row number 3, and Cam Dance in that 7th spot. Only 19 cars here tonight, Cam, and that's important. No last chance qualifier tonight. All cars will be going directly to the main.
Yeah, and this is going to be where you are going to be starting. And with this being a quarter-mile racetrack, that could be so important, especially if a couple of these cars start having an incident or something like that. Perhaps maybe spinning out, then throwing a quick yellow. As we know, restarts could always breed, well, not only more cautions, but I would say in the feature event, well, that's your points haul day, absolutely can. So, and we have to remember these heat races are for points as well.
The points on the line, bragging rights on the line, starting positions on the line as the field rolls off for heat race number 1. One of the, I think, best qualifying results for Dan Smulders all year, snatching a pole position. Also decent time from Anthony Lepresto. We've seen him struggle over the course of this year and get into some drama why he's not really in the mix whatsoever in this championship. But as that iRacing safety truck is going to release these cars and put the 211 in charge, we are going to get ready for action here tonight at Limaland. Only a handful of races left. What are we going to see? The 211 gets on it, and we are green in heat race number 1. And it is a terrible start from Dan Smulders. Lepresto will have the lead up top as they head off down the back straightaway. And the 211 machine is going to be at best fighting for third. The 4 car on top, Chase Cabre, he gets turned around though after a mistake all by himself.
Yeah, and Anthony Lepresto almost took a nice, lovely bit from Dan Smulders' front nerf bar, but nothing come of it there. And I noticed that David Heilman is trying the super low line there, and he is not having anything of it. He is now shifting up to the high side because he already nipped that inside tire barrier. That is so easy to do. These little tires that are embedded into the track, well, that can throw your front wheels in the air, and obviously once you do that, you're out of the way. And Dan Smulders is now losing to David Heilman on that inside line.
Down the front straightaway, they're going to come. Already working lap number 5 of 8. 11-second lap times here in race conditions. So laps count down really, really, really fast. Anthony Lepresto and David Heilman 1 and 2. In the back, Matt McKinney all the way up the racetrack through 3 and 4. That's going to drop him a spot to the 18 of Austin Selman. These three continue to fight. Dan Smulders, Austin Selman, and Matt McKinney. His driver in the wall once again. McKinney finding that outside wall as Cam Dance is going to come up on this 51 car that's struggling just a little bit with a lap and a half left.
Yeah, I think McKinney might be dealing with a bit of suspension damage perhaps, or just the car setup is not there at all. It seems like the car is chittering all over the place. Unfortunate for him, but noticing here for the battle for position number 3, Austin Selman and Dan Smulders, they're having a good fight.
Flag will wave, and it'll be Anthony Lepresto who wins with David Heilman, Dan Smulders, Austin Selman, Cam Dance, Matt McKinney, and Chase Cabre. Your 7-car field through heat race number 1. Once again, all cars will be going directly to the feature, I believe. We only have 19 cars here. This is normally a 20-car grid for the feature event. Let's take a look, though, down your starting grid for heat race number 2. And it'll be the second quickest time of the night in qualifying on that front row of Alex Bergeron with Rusty Kruger on the outside, James Edens and Nick Cooper on row number 2, with Michael Sheridan and Chris Brenner making up this 6-car field for heat race number 2. And Alex, I think luckily here, Cam, has sort of drawn himself what I would consider a pretty kind of simple, I don't want to say an easy heat race because I don't know if that exists, but he doesn't have as many of his championship contenders fighting with him here. He should be able to maximize his points haul in this heat race at least.
Yeah, I mean, you do have James Edens, and you do also have to note there at the restart, or the start of our day here at heat number 1, the outside car was able to pull the trigger and get that position. So Rusty Kruger might be in a prime position where he might be able to pull something, but of course, as we know, Alex Bergeron is probably one of the best green flag starters that we have, and I'm also interested to see what Nick Cooper might be able to pull off in that number 35 machine.
It'll be interesting to see what that 12 car can do on that lower lane, because we saw that 211 of Dan Smulders really struggle to get off the line, and he went from that pole position all the way back to third immediately once that race started. 1 to go signal from the iRacing starter stand as they circulate down the front straightaway. These guys are getting ready to let them loose. Alex is definitely one of the best starters, though. As Cam said, knows how to really work the track, and I think he's going to be much more aggressive in trying to keep that car in an upper lane when he gets on the throttle. Safety truck pulls off. Alex Bergeron in command of the field. Waiting. He's going to get on it, and look at that. Just as I expected, he sort of keeps it in that third lane, Cam, and he rockets out to a lead as the 52 of James Edens is going to try to slide up into second. He gets that job done.
Yeah, he absolutely set that up on the start of that the green there. He dove way to the inside so he could get the overspeed going into 1 and 2 and get the good exit. Now he's got himself secured in second position, but he's got Rusty Kruger trying to pass right in that outside wall already, but he's going side to side with Nick Cooper. So it's interesting here, almost 3 wide as Nick Cooper continually napping those inside tires.
Still trying to run the bottom, sort of, but he has moved up the racetrack just a little bit to the middle. 52 James Edens running that middle groove as well, and he seems to be doing a good job matching Bergeron. And they're not really closing, but not really letting him run away either. So we might see a nice kind of multi-groove racetrack pop up here later tonight as Bergeron's starting to spread it out just a little bit. Kruger has fallen off in that 3rd spot, and Cooper is very, very close, trying to make something happen along with Chris Brenner, who's right on the rear Nerf bar of that number 35 machine. Right down to the bottom goes that 70 car. There's almost no speed to be found down there just yet.
No, and it's interesting. It's almost like the difference between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are somehow just enough to where some drivers can run the inside line in one corner and the high side in the other. But either way, Alex Bergeron looks pretty comfortable as he takes the white flag here at Limaland.
Flag is out in heat race number 2, and Bergeron looks comfortable at the head of the field. Edens has been doing a good job reeling him in, though, the last couple of laps. But he finds one of those tires. The 12 car will win heat race number 2. Edens will just hold on to that 2nd spot with Kruger, Brenner, Cooper, and Sheridan rounding out the 6-car field. Sheridan not really looking very quick, and one of the changes, Cam, that's come back is the freedom with the fuel. I know of at least one driver who qualified with way too much fuel in the car tonight because they're used to having sort of the set minimum and the set maximum that you can use. Now you can pretty much select between basically 2 gallons all the way up to 30 for every single phase of the night of racing. And even though these guys are very experienced and have dealt with that before, because it's been a few builds since that's been the case, wouldn't be surprised if some people are having the mental slippage and going out there almost on a full tank or having 6 gallons instead of 3 for qualifying in these heats.
Yeah, most certainly. You have to remember it's about 6.3 pounds per gallon of fuel. You know, which doesn't seem like that much, but you know, you take 20 pounds off the car, it's going to end up being something when it comes to something that doesn't weigh pretty much anything, which these 410 wing sprint cars, I mean, they try to make everything as light as possible. But either way, it'll be interesting here to see what Phil Diaz is able to do and what Tim Ryan's able to do. I think this is going to be kind of the tricky one because you got Adam Albee, you got Weaver, you got the whole cast basically here right in Heat 3.
Going to be an interesting one for sure. Tim Ryan and Phil Diaz on that front row. Tim's arguably the favorite driver, I'll say. Almost the best. I'll say favorite from this heat race. Howard Weaver, Justin Thomas, row 2, Adam Albee, and Jesse Dawkins round out the 6-car field. iRacing safety truck pulls off, and the final heat race is getting ready. Number 98 gets on it. We are green in heat race number 3. Side by side for the 2nd spot. Howard Weaver times it up very well. Phil Diaz is going to try to work the momentum up top. He's going to have it for now. Howard all the way down to the bottom, not even trying to run the middle whatsoever. And that's going to cost him, as the number 9 machine will hold on to that 2nd spot. You also have Adam Albee and Jesse Dawkins duking it out back here. They're now going to be fighting with the 23 of Justin Thomas, who goes all the way down to the tires.
Pretty interesting to see. I saw Jesse Dawkins. He might have had a great idea as he dives now to the inside, that almost trying to do that swing, almost a super early entry and skidding across the track to grind the speed down and then kind of straightening the corner as it were. But ultimately, though, I'm not necessarily sure if it's working out for him too much. He's already up 2 positions, or at least 1 position now, and I think he actually just lost that position. But either way, moving back up to the front of the field, I can't say I'm surprised, Randy. It's Tim Ryan, and he's got a massive lead after only 5 laps.
Tim Ryan, Imba right, please nerf, as he's pretty much a 2.5 seconds clear of Phil Diaz right now. So easily been the quickest driver we've seen in these heat races. 2 laps remaining, though, in heat race number 3, as Howard Weaver is slowly closed in on Phil Diaz. Might be able to make something of this in the closing moments. Howard still doing some experimenting down on that bottom line, right up against those those tires that mark the inside. Puts the left front right over top of one of them and almost gets to that 9 car, but no momentum coming off the corner. Tim Ryan, though, will win here in the 98. Phil Diaz 2nd. Howard Weaver will hold on to 3rd. Albee in 4th. Justin Thomas will drop a spot and finish P5, and Jesse Dawkins will round out the 6-car field here in heat race number 3. With that, we have a 2-minute warm-up before we get to the feature event. We are going to take a short break, and before that, after that, we will be right back for your feature presentation. Do not go away.
Did you know your DirtVision.com account gives you free access to our on-demand video library? From the DirtVision.com homepage, click on Demand Video near the top right of the screen. And from there, countless hours of World of Outlaws footage awaits at your fingertips. Watch every lap of the current World of Outlaws Craftsman Sprint Car Series season.
Sheldon Hutton looking for a run. Dives low into turn 3, slide job! Sheldon Hutton, shield to the cushion. Johnson turns it back underneath him, but Sheldon leads lap 23.
Or dive into some of the historical options with videos in our Classics section.
He has clear visibility, comes off the fourth turn in the clear, and leads lap number 1.
It's all available free and on demand on DirtVision.com.
Heat races are done and over with. 19 cars have been set for the starting grid, and we're going to have an incredibly fierce 19-car 30-lap battle here at the quarter-mile bull ring. Warm up, getting ready to come to a close in just a moment. And Cam, this quarter-mile racetrack, we've seen it put on some great racing in the late models over the course of their championship. 2 fantastic races when they came through here. Sprint cars have struggled a little bit, but things have looked relatively interesting and seem to be getting spread out through these heat races. If we can keep things spread out here, we might be in for a very fast show.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think for me the biggest thing is that the track is just starting to turn, which, if we had the consolation race, obviously, track would be much more worn in and mean that the drivers perhaps would have to deal with a lot more of a slicked-off track. Well, now I have a feeling that the inside is going to be completely open for business. The outside is going to be powerful enough to hold off for a bit, but once we start turning halfway point, Randy, it's going to be very, very exciting as long as they can keep the yellow flags at bay.
So let's go down your starting grid for this 19-car feature event. Out in front, first time this season, Anthony Lopresto will start on pole for the feature with Alex Bergeron starting alongside. Tim Ryan will start 1 spot back and 1 click down to the inside from his championship rival of Alex Bergeron, with David Heilemann starting on the outside of that second row. James Edens and Phil Diaz will make up row 3, with Dan Smulders and Rusty Kruger on row number 4. Howard Weaver and Austin Semmelman will make up row 5, with Chris Brenner and Adam Elby on row 6. Cam Dance and Nick Cooper will be on row number 7, with Justin Thomas and Matt McKinney on row number 8. Michael Sheridan and Jesse Dawkins will make up row number 9, and Chase Cabre will be the caboose on the field, starting 19th of 19. So, 30 laps, 10 seconds a lap. If we stay green, this race should be over somewhere in the realm of about 5 minutes. The question is, will we stay green? 1 to go, Cam. What do you predict?
I'm going to predict 2 cautions early on, and then the rest is going to be green, and we're going to have a dramatic last 2-lap run. How about that?
Field works the way down the back straightaway. Anthony Lopresto in command with one of the most dominant starters starting outside of him. Can Bergeron time it? The answer is going to be no. We are green in the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Championship Series Round 9 feature event, and Bergeron gets it down to the bottom, side by side for the race lead. On the opening lap, Alex will try to slide up to the top, can't quite get it, but he will have the nose at the stripe, so the 12 car leads at the end of the first lap, and he will lead down the back straightaway.
And no surprise here, Tim Ryan, power move off the outside. He is absolutely riding the banking as high as possible, and he's getting the banking over Anthony Lopresto. He should have the slingshot now. Lopresto loses from first position down to 3rd, and Tim Ryan looking comfortable. He's almost looking like he's riding the high banks here at Limaland.
Lopresto really struggling. He's falling into the grips of David Heilemann in that 5 machine. You see David so much quicker on that top groove, tries to drive it down to the bottom, but not quite able to get there. The 52 of James Eden's working the middle, nearly 3 wide here. A lot of 2x2 up and down the field. They see Rusty Kruger and Howard Weaver duking it out for positions. Phil Diaz just a little bit ahead of this battle as well. But you're absolutely right, Cam, what you said before we started this feature. The track was just getting ready to turn and really kind of switch up a couple of lanes, and because of that, we have 2 or 3 different grooves all being run right now as Lepresto gets in front of that 5 of Heilemann.
Interesting thing to note here, Alex Bergeron, he's absolutely doing that wall riding. It's not going to last. I can't give him more than 3 or 4 more laps up here before he starts absolutely grinding that outside wall with the right rear tire and that Nerf bar. Speaking of which, he's just done such. But the thing is, he's got the fast lap times right now over Tim Ryan, but it's only going to be a matter of time, and I'm starting to wonder here as we're seeing good 3-wide action for position number 7 between Howard Weaver, Diaz, as well as Chris Brenner. How long until that outside line comes completely worn into the fact that these guys are going to have to search even more around the track and looking for grip?
2x2 is what they're doing in the mid-pack. Howard Weaver dealing with a hornet's nest. You got the 57 car of Anthony Presto, your pole sitter, back in this mix. Phil Diaz is back here. Chris Brenner is trying to work his way up after what was a terrible qualifying heat race result. He's currently on the bottom, fighting with Weaver and Lepresto up top. So 3 wide for a moment there for one of those positions. David Heilemann is just out in front of this little scrap. You also have the likes of Austin Selman, Rusty Kruger, and Matt McKinney, who's just a little bit further back. One car, I think the 9, got checked up, and the 10 car had to get off the throttle. I think maybe got in the back to him, but we're still green as we're approaching halfway, coming to lap 14 of 30.
And what's interesting to note, I saw Alex Bergeron, he tried that inside line on the exit of 3 and 4, and he did not get anything for it, and he actually lost 4/10 of the second to Tim Ryan, and then the second he moves back up top, they both trade the exact same lap time. So both of these drivers are starting to understand that the high line is fading, but it is still the fastest line. And I will say, everyone else seemed to look all right. One car pulls to the infield. It's Jesse Dacus, the 75. His day is done.
The 75 having problems of some sort. I will say historically, and I've seen this both in the sprint cars and other cars Alex drives as well.
Cam dances around, the number 6 car.
Number 6 cars around. That's going to trigger a caution on the night. Doesn't look like he has serious damage as he gets that car rolling. Where did this little contact come from, though? I think it was a bit of a cell spin. Indeed, it was. He went to the bottom through 1 and 2, fighting with, I believe that was a 74 car of Adam Elby, and he went in a little bit too hot. That car basically went into a bit of a half spin, and the 23 of Justin Thomas really nowhere to go, Cam, and just got into the back of him and set him around. So a little quick caution here. All cars will still be running, of course, with the exception of that 75 of Jesse Dacus, who had some sort of problem. We're going to be resetting the field here, and I think if you're Bergeron and Tim Ryan, you don't like that as news whatsoever, considering the gap you had on the rest of the field.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you're Cam Dance, I'd be pretty sad about that. He's managed to go down the lap, which I don't understand why. It's not, the car is straightened out immediately, unless perhaps in that time it took for him to get the car straightened out, perhaps the leaders were that far behind him. But either way, the car was, almost stationary for only 1 or 2 seconds. It would have been A-okay, but either way, lights are going out on the pace track. We're getting ready back to go green.
Going back to green. Can Bergeron get the jump he needs? Tim Ryan tries to time it, and Alex plays him like a fiddle. So he's going to have a 5-car length lead here up top. You see everyone pretty much trying to get to that upper line who they can. All the bottom drivers still running that middle groove. Tim Ryan will now try the low line. Not going to be able to slide up, and he won't have any momentum. Edens might be able to make a move here for P number 3. Excuse me, that's David Heilemann, who's up top. 52 of James Edens down low. They're still side by side for that 3rd spot. So Tim Ryan tries the bottom once, Cam, and he immediately goes right back to the wall.
Yeah, and Howard Weaver, he's got to be getting tired of hearing that he's 3 wide. He's got, this time it's Austin Simpleton on the outside. He had Chris Brenner on his inside, but Howard Weaver, he's powering right on through it, and good on him. He's cleared Diaz. He's cleared basically everyone except for Simpleton now. And Simpleton, where has he come from? He started from 6th, or from 10th. He's now up to 6th position, fighting with Weaver on the outside. It's interesting to see how this is going, because as Bergeron is pulled away from Tim Ryan, the entirety of the rest of the field, it's either running the super high line or the super low line. I can only imagine that's going to last for so long.
But we only have so long left. Coming to lap 26, 5 laps remaining in this one, and the bulk of the field is still 2x2x2. Weaver is dealing with his teammate of Austin Selman as well, the 52 of Eden. Just behind you have Anthony Lepresto sort of involved with this fight as well. Chris Brenner not far back either, but we have to somewhat focus, of course, on your championship contenders out in front. It's still Alex Bergeron clearing away the quickest driver tonight, working lap number 28 of 30. Tim Ryan 1 second back, of course, the championship favorite, 60 points ahead of Alex coming into this thing with Heilemann in P3, and Heilemann might play a little bit of spoiler to Tim Ryan here because that 5 car is looking really hooked up now with 2 laps to go. He's going to try the middle to get it underneath Tim, not quite able to get there, but white flag waves. The 12 Alex Bergeron. Can David maybe steal that second spot and help out his teammate of Alex Bergeron? Through 1 and 2, David loses quite a bit of ground and they screen down the back straightaway, but through 3 and 4 for the final time, Bergeron will win here at Limaland, and Tim Ryan will hold on to second.
Geesh, I gotta say, I don't know why we didn't run 35 laps at least. It's not like we were worried about fuel. Nobody ran out of fuel, by the way, with only 1 caution. So, hey, we got that at least going for us. But, no, congrats to Alex Bergeron, I was going to say. I mean, we had extremely aggressive fighting in the middle of the pack there, Randy. So, I guess I can say pretty happy that we only managed to pull out 1 caution that whole race.
Yep, 1 yellow all the way through. It was a very, very exciting race for sure. Very tightly contested. Was it fantastic racing all the way through, I must add. The track was absolutely phenomenal. As we're going to go down at your post-race results. Alex Bergeron and Tim Ryan end up first and second, with David Heilemann in third, James Eden fourth, and Austin Selman round out your top 5. Anthony Presto in 6th, Howard Weaver in 7th, Chris Brenner in 8th, Phil Diaz 9th, and Chase Cabre will round out your top 10. Nick Cooper, Adam Elby, Michael Sheridan, Dan Smolders, Justin Thomas, Matt McKinney, Cam Dance, Rusty Kruger, and Jesse Dawkins round out the 19-car field in that 6 minute and 37 second 30-lap feature event. Do not go away here from the iRacing Esports Network or on Dirt Vision. Post-race results coming at you in just a couple of moments. We'll be right back.
Courage at the mile. What part did courage play in this victory?
Kinzer going into the corner, trying to get by Dale Waxo, makes contact.
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there.
So many times, everybody had lost track. Look at how it shot up on the center track.
Tell you what, that was some close races at a high speed.
The World of Outlaws create memories for fans every night. Now share your favorite Outlaw moment on social media. Whether it was 1978, 1998, or 2018, we want to know, what's your Outlaw moment? Did you sneak into a victory lane picture? Get whiplash driving past a parking lot full of crews at work? Or maybe you simply got to meet your favorite driver in the pits after the races. Tweet it, Instagram it, just use the hashtag #MyOutlawMoment. You might even hear Voice of the Outlaws' Johnny Gibson share your memory at the track. Don't delay, start posting today. Let us know with My Outlaw Moment.
Welcome back here to the iRacing Esports Network and on Dirt Vision, where post-race coverage of the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Championship Series is coming at you, and we're going to kick off the coverage with our second place finisher of the night, current championship points leader Tim Ryan. He has stood by with Cam Walsh. Here we go. Cam, you got him.
Tim Ryan, the number 98 machine. Well, it's Limaland, I would say. I mean, put some more fuel in the cars and send y'all back out there. That was some good racing, but I gotta say, it's a bit quick. You know, only 6 minutes and some change. Take me through your night here at Limaland.
Hey, good evening, boys. Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward night. I was just happy to keep it off the walls and minimise the loss in the championship. I think it was only about 4-point gain there, so that's what we're here to do. Just in the feature, just want to keep the car straight and off the walls. So it all went to plan.
Yeah, now it was pretty interesting to see you guys tiptoeing, dancing between running that super high outside line, which, you know, if this race went a little bit longer, I have a feeling that it was going to start yielding, and you guys are going to have to start looking for some other lines. You did dabble a little bit in the inside line. Was it just not there?
I was just trying a bit of everything just to stay off the wall. Just, yeah, didn't want to put her upside down, so just happy to walk away with the points tonight.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's not a bad day, I'd have to say, and I think, next we're going to Williams Grove, so, I mean, you talk about keeping it out of the wall. It's a bit difficult to do it there. You gonna get ready for old Mechanicsburg, PA?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, seem to have Williams Grove figured out last build, so we'll see if we got it figured out next time. Car feels pretty solid. New build, pretty happy with the pace. Just, yeah, stuffed up my qualifying. That made an uncharacteristic mistake there. But yeah, pretty happy with the result apart from that.
All right, Tim Ryan, the Mr. Australian of our World of Outlaws World Championship Series. Floor is yours. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone at Altus Esports, Cams Australia, Motum Simulations, and yeah, everyone for putting it on. Thank you. Cheers, boys.
There you go. Cheers indeed. That's Tim Ryan, the number 98. And we have our race winner. He's climbed out of his 410, and he's standing by with Randy Chenworth.
Yep, I have Alex Bergeron, race winner of the night. Alex, you've been pretty hooked up all evening. You were really the first one to show what some aggression on the start can get you in the heat races, and you put it to work here to absolute perfection. How was this track tonight? Second time we've seen it here in the sprint cars. Much cleaner show this time. What's your take?
Well, it was the top was there too, and the bottom was, the middle was there at the start, and that's why I used there on the race. Basically the first start, and I passed Lepresto there, and it worked. And then I decided to go up top. I seen Tim going up top there, and I choose to go there and see what it does, and it paid off for us. But track was amazing. iRacing did a good job again on this new build, and very impressive. It's just the top there was a cushion there and it was very tough to get it right, especially out of turn 4. If you wouldn't get it right, you would probably flip or something. But I made it work, and very happy of the result, and congrats to the podium.
Now, the championship should start swinging your way a little bit in terms of the points. You came in with like a 60-point deficit. You both, of course, you both won your heat races, you and Tim, and you coming home with the race win. You start sort of chipping into that points lead. How confident are you that you think you can potentially bring this home? Because it's a big disadvantage, and it's a lot of points you have to try to make up in these closing stages. You think you have any hope of doing it?
Well, for sure, I'll try everything I can. We had a lot of bad lucks this season, unfortunately, but it's part of it, and it's sad because I was a lot confident. I had a lot of confidence going into the season, and a lot of bad lucks, and didn't help us, but. We got to win tonight at one of my favorite tracks, and always been fast here, and it's such a enjoyable to race here, and it's amazing to get a win tonight.
Thanks for joining us, Alex. Congratulations on the big win. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 12 VLR machine?
Well, shout out to Two News partnership for the rest of the season up onward. The sign shot at Kinney's situated in New York. Shout out to him and. Paul there and everybody watching at the shop, and Nut Up and Out Bottom Apparel for all your apparel needs. And when it's all on the line, that's what Nut Up is. And just go check them out on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, and all my other partnership. BK Designs for their paint schemes, RacingNew.com, their collective. Also made their TV, their car racing, and you guys for broadcasting and VLR for the team, and World of Outlaws for putting this on, and we'll see you guys next week for late models.
There he was. Mr. Alex Bergeron comes home with the big win, and will start hunting down Tim Ryan in the points. Final interviewee of the night, Cam Walsher stood by with the Hylomaniac himself.
That I am, but first I gotta say, Alex Bergeron was at Brewerton Speedway a couple of weeks ago, which is literally like 15 minutes from my house, and he didn't even say anything. He's a jerk. Anyways, hi, David Heilman. Speaking of not jerks, it's Dave. Dave, you've managed to come home in 3rd position. You started in 4th. There's a lot more to it. We only had 30 laps. It was only 6 minutes and 30 some odd seconds. I mean, I gotta say, it was a super quick race, but it was a very hectic race.
Not so much on my end. Maybe the heat race probably had more action, but yeah, I don't know. Once we kind of got in line there and we were going around, and then on the restart, I was able to get around Egan's, and then I was just kind of following Tim around there because I just didn't want to screw it up for any of us.
Now, the the inside line, outside line sort of thing. It seemed that a lot of people were searching for that extra grip, that line that would shoot them out and get them a good stretch down the short straights that we have here at Limaland. Were you just comfortable riding up that high side, or do you really need to keep trying to hit that inside line?
Well, the track didn't start off clean like it has been. It started at like a low usage, which I think kind of took the bottom away a little bit more. But I was confident. I was just planning to stay at the top all race, you know. We were in a practice session earlier with a couple of guys, and they're like, "Oh, no, bottom's gonna be quick." Bottom's, and I was like, "Nah, man, I think it's gonna be all top side."
Well, and you were pretty much right. I mean, dead on. And we only had the one caution there, so it didn't seem to take away too much. But either way, we're going to Williams Grove in a couple of weeks. It's that super tight pencil clip racetrack. You gonna be ready for it?
I hope so. Probably performed better last time than I should have, but one of my weaker tracks. But I'm just happy to get through Limaland and head on to 3 races left now.
Yeah, only 3 races to go. So either way, David, floor is going to be yours. Anybody you'd like to give a thanks before we let you go?
Thanks to our guys at Team VLR, Tac 3 Defense, Down Under Graphics, World of Outlaws for letting us put it on, and Race Spot for letting us put it on for all the Highland Maniacs out there.
Well, there you go. Highland Maniacs rejoice. There's no step for position number 3, but you know what? Comes the pretty good points day. How about that? I have a feeling the paycheck's not going to be that bad either. But
I know all about finishing 3rd this series. This is probably my 6th or 7th, honestly.
If the championship was based on who finished in 3rd, you'd be the champion. How about that? Yeah. But either way, David, thanks so much for hopping in the booth with us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at Williams Grove.
All right, see you.
And with that is the number 5 machine. And Randy, I gotta say, I mean, 6 minutes and 37 seconds. Speaking of making some money, I mean, that's $300 worth of quick cash going to our winner, Alex Bergeron.
Yeah, I'm sure if someone would do the math, that is an absolutely phenomenal hourly rate. But no, it was a fantastic race tonight, Cam. Like you were saying all night, very multi-grooved. We saw people running the middle lane. The bottom didn't seem to work out too well unless you were exactly 3 wide. You definitely wanted to be about a lane up or so, but definitely fantastic racing, and these guys put on one heck of a show. But as you said, we move on to Williams Grove next week, paperclip style racetrack. Absolutely, super long straightaways and very, very tight corners. That's going to be an interesting one as well, because Williams Grove always can put on a show in sprint cars.
And it can always put on the craziest restarts that you could possibly imagine. I think we'll hope to not allow everyone to see what we're talking about and instead simply take our words for it.
Yep, that's definitely going to be the situation. But that is going to be it for us here tonight on RaceSpot TV, on Dirt Vision, and on the iRacing Esports Network, as we had a fantastic show in the World of Outlaw Craftsman Sprint Car Championship Series. Alex Bergeron begins his climb of what was a 60-point mountain to try to overcome. Let's see if he will be able to reach the summit or if he will fall just a little bit short in the coming weeks. But until then, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.